What invention is so good that it actually can't be improved upon? P-trap, a simple elegant way to prevent odor from coming into your house via sink, toilet, etc. A lot of Asia still doesn't use this. Trust me, it makes a huge difference. We apparently have a bend in our plumbing near our septic tank that every few years gets clogged, and then I hear the sinks gurgle, and that's when I know to close all the bathroom doors and call a plumber because the smell is horrific. I can't imagine if that's just how it smelled every time the sink ran or a toilet flushed. A mirror is as good as it gets for its usage. I've heard the pin setter machine in bowling alleys has never had a redesign. It was perfect already. The XLR cable. Until they can beam something directly into your head, we kind of hit a dead end for perceived sound. The simplicity of what a cable can do by allowing both AC and DC power to flow through, so you can power and draw signal from a microphone. Plus the fact it's so simple to remove the noise you get from outside interference makes it even more genius. MMM. Phantom power. Spooky. Paperclip. Last major patent was in the 1880s. Cast iron skillet est. 1707. Rapunzel has entered the chat. Who knew? Here's your pan. Here's your frog. Ahem, chameleon. Pizza. You can change it up. You can ruin it. And you can fold it half like a crazy calzone munching madman. But you can't beat perfection. The calzones betrayed me. It's about the cones. The brick. It has been made of mud, then mud with straw, then mud with clay, then finally with clay alone. That is as far as progress has taken the brick in the, guess, 8,000 years since it was invented, and it is still in use today. Someone, lost in the obscurity of ancient history, realized that you couldn't build really strong stone structures with irregularly shaped small natural stones. And hewing huge lumps of stone into regular shapes was just ridiculously hard work. That person also observed that mud that fell into a fire was left hardened when the fire died down. So they figured that if you shaped mud into regular shapes, big enough to carry one in each hand, you would have all the advantages of small irregular stones and large geometrically carved stones, but with none of the drawbacks of either. This thought must have taken a second to dawn on the inventor. The practical work to prove the concept must have taken a weekend, at most, perhaps a week or two to get the shape just right. And here we are, thousands of years later, and the damn thing has barely changed at all. The hollow concrete block is a major improvement. It's way more widely used around the world. And rubber is important, too. The pocket. Zipper. Best way to merge in traffic. I'd say nail clippers. Rich and poor people will use the same thing to clip their nails. Rich people pay poor people to clip their nails for them. And those poor bastards use the same nail clipper the other poor bastards use. Rubber bands. They work. When I was a kid, rubber bands would last for years. Now most of them fail within a year or so. Because they removed the cocaine. I knew they smelled different. I don't do cocaine. I just like smelling it. That mini trident you use to scratch your back, man, that's the best invention of human race. IDK, man, the lightsaber under my mom's bed was really nice when I used it as a back massager. Most professional classical music instruments are already in their final stage like piano and violin. Edit, wording. Taking the other tack, most orchestral scores do not feature saxophone because it wasn't developed until the 1840s, which is extremely recent on the musical timeline. The basic sewing needle. It really hasn't changed in thousands of years. There is no need for change. I'd argue that sewing machines are just advanced sewing needles. I still can't figure out how they work. I've seen animations and videos of the mechanics, but my brain refuses to process it, and it looks so simple. Almost too simple. The spoon is a pretty incredible invention. It can often sub as a fork or a knife, and it has a great name. Those special self-stabilizing spoons to help people with hand tremors feed themselves are pretty cool. Over-engineered for most people, but I'm happy they exist. I should make a self-stabilizing soldering iron. I have a moderate tremor and I can do most things, but I can't ducking solder. And I'm an electrical engineer. But how do you make one without soldering? Serious reply to a great question. You try a frustrating number of times. It's usually easier to clean up a botched solder than to get it right in one go. A knife. It can do anything. Soup. Poop. I wonder how many new redditors have no idea about poop knife. Here we go again. The soda can. The physics behind it have been perfected. There is a cool YouTube video about it. The steam turbine. It is such a useful way to convert heat into electricity that it would not be surprising to see one strapped to a fusion reactor if one ever get built. They're already strapped to fission reactors. That's pretty good, I'd say. Yeah, the steam turbine inventor was way ahead of his time. He really was a visionary. I see what you did there. Garlic bread. Windshield wipers. My engineering professor always lectured us on how perfect the design is and how the new changes made our strictly aesthetic and don't work any better. Until they invent one that cleans the whole window instead of just parts of it. Easy fix. Make the windshield in the shape that the wipers wipe. I was going to say a shovel, but it looks like people have already said spoons. What is a spoon but a very small shovel? What is a shovel but a very large spoon? Are you asking if there's an invention that does its job so well that nothing else can do the same job better? Like how a light bulb can give off more light than a candle. But so far we haven't produced anything that emits light better than LEDs. Or are you asking if there's an invention that perfectly solves a specific problem? Like if you want to keep dry while walking in the rain, your best choice is an umbrella. Things that come to mind are AM/FM radio. It is about as efficient as it's going to get. The pencil and pencil sharpener. I don't really see how they can improve them. The match and lighter. The umbrella. The hammer. The bucket. The TV remote. The fishing pole. The hinge. The spring. Fire cooking. We've been trying to improve it for almost 2 million years. God, I hate electric stoves. I hate electronic stoves, but love electric ovens. Yup. Gas cooktop and fan forced electric oven is perfection. Yup. Gas cooktop and fan forced electric oven is convection. Does cheese count as an invention? Yep. It's the final step of a specialized process. The specialized process of forgetting milk for a while. I'm going to go out on a limb and say a doorway. It's a portal. Plain and simple. An ancient invention that allows us to pass through walls. Sounds pretty awesome when you put it that way. I dunno. Sliced bread is pretty hard to improve on. Plus it has made life easier for pretty much anyone who enjoys bread. I present to you double cooked sliced bread. I'll toast to that. You. Thanks bro. You too. Maybe the best inventions were the friends we made along the way. Chopsticks. Talk about consistency. It has been the same way for I have no idea how many years. But can you imagine a Bluetooth chopstick that can play music? When will the chopstick companies get it together? Would it play chopsticks? No. Chop suey. Is this even a question? The Juicero obviously. Thanks to its Wi-Fi dependency, you can watch porn while your shit's juicing. I still can't believe a bunch of techie dipshits paid hundreds of dollars for a machine that squeezes juice out of a bag. Brooms haven't changed, no matter how hard Swifter tries. I agree. Brooms really are as good as it gets. Brooms came close, but brooms are definitely the best way to sound like a car. Him and me mom's car. Broom broom. Scissors are the perfect tool for cutting and shaping material that will likely never be improved upon. Hitachi magic wand. Duct tape. I have to disagree. It can be improved upon. It can be rebranded as duct tape. Apostrophe. Duck brand duct tape is a thing. Ravioli. How else you gonna encapsulate cheese inside a noodle? Pierogi. They are a type of Polish dumpling. They are like ravioli, except you pan fry them instead of putting them in sauce. And a wider variety of fillings. People really having trouble understanding the question on this one. And are just posting things they like. My favorite one was the guy saying the shovel is perfect and hasn't been improved upon. Meanwhile somewhere out there this very second there is a sad and forgotten excavator that is doing in a minute what a shovel would only manage in a day. A really good grilled cheese sandwich. Some good bread. With good butter. Some good cheeses. With some heat and attention. Got 'em. It's ducking delicious. Common wood screw or nut and bolt as a fasteners. They've definitely improved on the screw and bolt. Screws have different head types. Different thread types for different materials. Same with bolts. Captured bolts. Lock nuts and washers etc. Fender Telecaster. Hell yeah. Condoms. Any thinner, they'd break. Any thicker, and it's fake. What about a condom that just covers the pee hole? It's called flex tape. 3. 5mm audio jack. Dongles are evil. I'll never forgive these phone companies for what they did to me. Madden NFL. They perfected it 15 years ago, so they haven't made a single change since. No, they perfected it 15 years ago, and then removed a lot of the best shit, added microtransactions, and let the single player modes they couldn't monetize stagnate. It'd be better if they did just keep it the same every year, since 2005. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.